everyone. My name is Judy Berkley, and I'm one of the directors of one of the programs at Mission College, the RN program. Tonight, I've been asked to talk about some of the myths about nursing programs and at Mission, some facts. What does it look like right now for someone who wants to get into nursing, and some recommendations if you're interested. So I do have a PowerPoint. It's not fancy. It's pretty straightforward. And then hopefully I have some room at the end if you have any questions or anything. Okay, so I'll go ahead and share my screen here. All right, so again, nursing at Mission College, right? So nursing is considered two things. One is a profession, and most of us in nursing consider it a career. A lot of the myths or things that you hear about nursing are about how hard it is, how long it takes to get to be a nurse. We're all rich, we all make a lot of money. We do make a decent wage, but we work very hard for that. It's an easy job. That's a myth that people have told me about. Some of the other things are that, I can never be a nurse. I'm not smart enough. I don't have what it takes. For those of you who are students in the room, thankfully you're finishing high school, but I didn't ever went to college until I was an adult with children. So I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be able to go to school and be a nurse. And so I'm always telling students that nothing is impossible if you want it bad enough, right? So let me talk a little bit about the programs that we have and what's available to a student who's graduating from high school and then further on. And then some tips, what it looks like right now in nursing, and then some recommendations, okay? All right. So we have 4 programs. Community health worker is the lowest level of healthcare provider that we have, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. We have a nursing assistant program, a vocational nursing program, and an LVN-RN program. So each one of these programs we consider as being part of an educational ladder. All of them are considered a professional, career, could be if you wanted to. Many people get a certificate as a community healthcare worker, and they're able to work in that job while they're going to school. Because one of the great things about nursing is that the hours are flexible. There's different shifts. You can work weekends, you can work nights, you can work pretty much, 8-hour days or part-time depending. There's a lot of flexibility in any kind of healthcare career, healthcare provider career. So let me talk about the community health worker first. That's a non-credit certificate program. It runs in the summer only. There are, what do they do? They provide students, we provide students with health education or information about how to teach patients, clients in the community and in their home. A lot of the community healthcare workers go on and work in patients and clients' homes. They help them with cooking and showering and taking their medication, making sure they take it correctly, and all of those kinds of things. Sometimes take them to doctor's appointments. Community health worker can be somebody who lives in with the family in a home and takes care of maybe an elderly parent, or somebody who comes in just during the day or even overnight so that the family can rest. And there's always somebody there, keeping an eye on the person that they're taking care of. So this is only 3 courses for this one. And the 3rd course, which is an externship, is 162 hours where they're actually going out and working with patients as practice. with a instructor who's supervising what they're doing and making sure that they're understanding what's required of the job, basically. The position pays about $17 an hour, and you can work either independently once you get your certificate. You can put an ad in the paper and work independently, or you can sign up to work for an agency where they'll find somebody for you to go and work with on your own, with them, and then they pay you, just like a regular job. So it has, again, a lot of flexibility, and it's considered an entry-level position in healthcare. All right. The next one is a certified nursing assistant, and that's probably one you've heard more about. The community healthcare worker hasn't been around for very long, but with more and more people aging at home and staying at home and needing help there really is a need for those type of healthcare providers. Certified nursing assistant is a nursing assistant. It's a certification program. It's a credit program. It's a 12-week program, or 6 weeks in the summer and 15 weeks during the regular semester. What do? They help. They work in the hospital or in clinics, and they also can work in the home, but they have a little bit more responsibility, and their certification allows them to do more types of things with patients, like bathing, feeding people. A lot of nursing assistants work in schools, actually, helping in the classrooms where there are students who have special needs, things like that. They also are a fundamental part of any level of nurse. I know as a nurse practitioner that I can't live or work very efficiently without my nursing assistant. Same thing with vocational nursing. Remember I said this is a ladder, right? So the first rung in the ladder is the community health worker. And for me as a nurse practitioner, when I am sending somebody home, and they need care after I send them home from the hospital, it's helpful for me to know that there is somebody there that's going to assist that person, especially if they're older or they have problems with mobility, things like that. That's going to help them, because that will keep that person out of the hospital, so they don't have, so they don't get sick or fall or do something like that. Nursing assistants in the hospital, the way that hospital system is right now, most of us can't live without nursing assistants. They're, like I said, a fundamental part of helping us give the best care to patients. The nursing requirements are very simple. They're not very much. 18 years of older, Social Security number or a tax ID number, or a valid government ID. You have to apply to mission to get a student number. There's no testing and no transcripts required. Most of the classes are taught in English unless there's a reason why they need to be taught in another language. But this class, again, in the summer, 6 weeks, and 15 weeks during the regular semester. It's a combination of on-campus classes and classes in skilled nursing facilities or long-term care facilities, and primarily taking care of elderly people, helping learn how to give baths, help people get out of bed, educate people about medications, things like that. That's the second rung in the ladder. The next rung in the ladder is a vocational nurse. We have two programs. One is a certificate program and one is a degree program. This program is 3 semesters, and you have to be a certified nursing assistant in order to be eligible for this program. So once you get your certified nursing assistant certificate, then you can work and go to school at the same time. All of our courses allow for, or all of our programs allow for opportunities for students to work and go to school. We know that we have a large we have a very diverse student population from all socioeconomic classes, lots of money available, grants, scholarships, things like that, so that students, if they can't work or they need help or assistance, we have a lot of opportunities for that. Anyway, this is a 3-semester program. We usually have classes 3 days a week, mornings. Usually don't run after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then 2 days a week, the students are in the hospitals training with a faculty person and training with other nurses so that they can learn on the job, basically on the job training. And they do that for 3 semesters. And then depending on what other courses that they've taken, they either get a certificate or they would be eligible for a degree when they finish. What does a vocational nurse do? Well, they do a little bit more complicated things. All of these levels of healthcare providers report to the registered nurse. The registered nurse, which I'll talk about in a minute, is the person who delegates work or these items here, assessment and monitoring, to the vocational nurse. The vocational nurse can delegate certain items to the nursing assistant to do. But each job has a limit or limitation, or what they call scope of practice, or the things that the license allows or certificate allows that person to do within the job. So these are the things that a vocational nurse does. They do a lot of EKGs, and you can do draw blood. You can learn and be certified in intravenous or IVs. You do a lot of clinical skills, catheters, wound care. It's an opportunity to learn about terminology used in medicine. You can work either in the hospital or the clinic. You can also work in the home. Many vocational nurses work in homes with clients, a lot of children who have special needs, and they need some care or skills that are higher level than a nursing assistant. A vocational nurse can work either independently or through an agency. All nursing is considered a customer service job, where it's all about providing the best service we can to our clients or patients. You learn about infection control, you learn about communication, diversity, cultural competence or congruence, and you learn a lot about how to adapt to different situations, decision making, critical thinking. It's a you know, obviously I like nursing because I think all levels have their benefits to them. And again, when you have your certificate or your degree, this requires that you take a test, a state test called the National Certification Exam for Nursing, the NCLEX. There are 2 levels of that test, one for vocational, one for registered nurse. And once you do that, you finish the program with a certificate. Once you take the test, you get a license. So it's different than the certificate for nursing assistant, because you have the state, you've taken a test and you're a board test, like doctors do, take a state board test, and you've gotten a license to practice. So that comes with a lot of responsibility, but again, it is definitely a very rewarding career and a profession. Okay, so I put a couple of links in here that I'm going to send this to Jacob so he can share this. These are all located on our website, you know, the requirements for the certificate versus the requirements for the degree. Most of the information things that I'm talking about are located on our website, nursing@missioncollege.edu. And I can put that in the chat. Okay, and then the next question, or the next level of nursing at Mission, is the LVN to RN registered nurse bridge program. We call it a bridge program because you have to have a license as a vocational nurse in order to, as one of the eligibility requirements for the program. This is an accelerated program. Normally, a registered nursing program is a 2-year program. The LVN to RN Bridge Accelerated Program at Mission is 9 months. So once you receive your vocational nursing license and you meet the eligibility requirements, you can apply to the Bridge program. And the exciting thing about this right now, currently, what's happening is because most of the educational realm has moved to a lot of online courses, that we are able to have our students in this RN program be concurrently enrolled in a baccalaureate program or a bachelor's degree in program in nursing. So typically it takes 5 years or 5 to 6 years for any student to go from enter a freshman year in a 4-year university. For nursing, it takes 5 to 6 years to get a bachelor's degree as a registered nurse. We offer the same timeline in a community college for a lot less money. So, and then you're able to work the whole time that you're in school. Our students go on to finish their bachelor's degree about 9 months to a year after they finish this program. And many of our students go on to get a master's degree or higher. The requirements are you have to have a vocational nursing license. You have some prerequisite courses that you have to take: anatomy, physiology. There is a test, a pre-application test, and you have to have a minimum GPA of 2.5, which is very low considering most of the universities are much higher for eligibility. So what does a registered nurse do? Well, they're pretty much the next person under the physician. So follow the doctor's orders. The doctor makes an order, sees a patient, and the nurse takes that order and makes sure that it gets done or doesn't, or delegates it to either a vocational nurse or a nursing assistant, or even to a community healthcare worker if they're working with in a clinic, right? Because registered nurses can work in hospitals and clinics. They can work independently in many states, not including California. And we can also, once we get an advanced, move on to another higher degree, like myself as a nurse practitioner, you can practice independently in California. So the registered nurse is the highest level of nursing. It is definitely a rewarding profession and career. What do you do if you're interested in making nursing a career choice? You know, apply to Mission College. We always recommend that students make an appointment with a counselor. Once you have a student ID number, you can meet with a counselor, develop a plan for your education. Every one of these programs has links to in Zoom information sessions, usually monthly or every other month, so that you can get the most current information about these programs. Fill out and submit the application. The CNA program, we usually take 45 students, and we take in students 4 times a year, sometimes 5, depending. It's not an impacted program. So now I'm talking about the current landscape. So the community healthcare worker, like I said, is only in the summer. We do take 45 to 60 students when we run that. The nursing assistant program, we take 45 students, like I said, 4 times a year. The current landscape is we have 45 slots. We typically get 100 applications. A lot of students who apply don't show up. And so we usually go through those 100 applications. For some reason, people apply and then they do something else, I guess, I don't know. The LVN-RN program, we take in 40 to 45 students once every other semester. So we have 2 cohorts of vocational nurses running at the same time. We take in, again, 45 students. We usually get up to 200 applications. And one of the reasons why that happens currently in the landscape is because everybody, nursing is shortage. There's a nursing shortage, and a lot of people are interested in going into the career, and there aren't enough nursing programs for the amount of students who want to go. So each program has, like I said earlier, eligibility, requirements if you're interested in applying. And as you go along and you move from level to level of nursing, you get more familiar with the requirements and the courses that you need to take, and you already have a plan because you've met with a counselor, you know what to do, what you want to do, and you have a goal. And that makes it much easier to move through these programs. Also, Mission College, we're very student-centered, so we make an extra effort to meet and talk with students. For myself, you can call me anytime, you can email me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about the program. Okay, so that is most of the information about the 4 programs that we have at Mission. Are there any questions? Nobody has a question. That means I was so good. I was so good that nobody has any questions. Lila, you don't have any questions? Bianca, no questions? Okay, well, here's my information, my email. And my phone number. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, any emails, feel free to email me. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions. You're welcome, Lila. Everybody have a wonderful evening. I'll stop the share. All right. So any questions? I'll end the session. Hey, I'm 1 minute over. That's pretty good. All right, Bianca, Lila, everybody have a great evening, and I hope to talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.